name's Zach. I started playing guitar 2 years ago in Dregg. Prior to that, I was playing in some other heavy bands and whatnot. But um, yeah, I mean, my background's really just in guitar and production. Yeah,
Very good, mate. Thanks for joining us today.
not a problem. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, Drake recently released a new single, Dog Cunts, which
Yeah,
is Heavy's favorite word,
yeah,
cunts. Like, it just blows off the tongue, doesn't it? But yeah, she only came out last week, bro. So, how's the early response been to it?
great. Actually, I honestly had no idea like how it's going to go because it's my first time being in a band that's had this much reach, I guess. Um, So I'm fully just gauging off everything Kris says. But yeah, I mean, immediately great. I think we'd be over 15K views on YouTube now, which is real good. Um, I mean, it's close to that on Spotify too, which is great. So doing well.
Yeah, cool. And then how much of that do you reckon is down to the fact that you've got a naughty word like cunts in the title? You know, like how many much do you reckon people sort of see the title and they go, oh, that's a little bit naughty. I'm gonna have a listen to that.
What is it? I mean, yeah, definitely. 'Cause you look at even like the comments and everything that's been popping up, people being like, oh, dog cunts. Are these guys Aussie, And then immediately, like, yeah, I feel like it's such a draw. Even when we sent it to our managers over in America, they loved it immediately. Just, this is like over a year ago. Pointed it out purely because it did say dog cunts, and you just know it's such an Aussie term.
Fucking the music world's come a long way though. I remember like talking to Dave Gleason from the Screaming Jets, and when they had Fat Rich Cunts on their album like 20 years ago, managers
Yeah.
wouldn't have a bar of it. Like they weren't allowed to release it. They weren't even allowed to sing it at first.
Mm.
Now you can fucking put it out there, and my daughter's gonna come home from school and say, "I've heard this new song, Dog Cunts, Dad." So tell us a bit more about the song from a musical point of view, bro, and what you were going for with it.
I mean, honestly, it started just like the lyrics at the beginning were just something that I came up with one day, feeling like, I don't know, kind of like paranoid and shit. Um, Getting all kind of just like neggy and whatever. So I was like, oh, well, fuck these cunts. Like, just I was like, what if it's instead of it being all like woe is me, it's more of like an aggressive sort of perspective on it. And so that's kind of like the concept. And then when I joined, I remember saying to Drake, I want everything to be a fair bit heavier, like just more aggressive and shit. And so I suppose a big part of even that song and also the album was trying to still sound like Dregg, but beyond anything that's been done by them before, and also just fresh for, like metalcore and shit these days. Like the whole middle part, the verse where um Kris comes in, he's that's like very influenced by a genre called psytrance, which is like psychedelic trance. It's like dance music really. But I love that shit. Like, there's nothing better than psytrance in my opinion.
Nothing.
It's mad. It's just so loose, and so like we were trying to incorporate that as well, just to keep shit like that electronic sort of element, but again, just tap into stuff that hasn't been done within the genre again.
Which is
Yeah.
pretty hard to do these days, eh? Because like there's so many bands out there trying so many different things. Like
Mm.
to come up with something and tap into something that hasn't been done before, like sometimes it actually takes more effort than it's worth.
Oh yeah, God, you should see like the amount of songs that we've tried writing is insane. You see like on the hard drive, the folder of stuff that we didn't use is
Yeah.
crazy just because it is fully that, just trying so many random things, trying to figure out what actually works.
And the music video for the song's pretty awesome too, bro. Like starts out with Asian singing Zed holding a neuralizer and instructing the listeners that they're gonna need to forget everything you already know about Drake. Like, is that statement just for the single or is it in general?
For the whole album, really. Yeah. It's significantly heavier, um, a lot more metal. Uh, I mean, there's even a few songs with like clean singing.
All right.
Yeah, not like it's not all crystally and nice. It's just like, the song called for it, so that's just where it went. But yeah, the whole the whole vibe of the band musically is a massive progression, I guess. So
We'll circle back to the album in a second, but I just want to ask you one more question about the music video for Dog Cunts. Like, there's a hell of a lot going on in it, mate. Like, it's got everything from the band jamming out to the bodybuilders. There's fighter jets. Like, is there an actual storyline to it, or is it just a mishmash of fucking whatever you felt like throwing in there?
it's it's Chris's concept, so I don't know the absolute ins and outs of it because that dude's like so visual with music. But at least from what I know, it's very much just yeah, assert that the band is going to be different. Even with the lineup's different. Caleb and I brand new. But I suppose just show off what we are now and go harder than what they've done in the past. That was, I guess, the main motivation. Just do something that's even crazier than because like they had that other video with the tank, and Kris was like, "How do you outdo a tank? I'll get in a plane." I was like, we'll strap ourselves onto the car. Like,
I got a point. Yeah, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here with everything you've said and suggest that Dog Cunts is the first single off a new album, correct?
yeah.
Yeah. So is that you were saying before, like it's going to be heavier and in a bit different direction? Like, is that a good gauge of what to expect, or is there even more to the album than that?
So it's definitely heavier, but then the next single that we're looking to put out is pretty electronic, really. But it feels like without it, radio is such like has so many negative connotations to it, but it's like a more radio orientated song, I guess, because it has more of a structure and there's like a chorus with the singing. But then, yeah, in regards to the rest of the album, there's like a ballad, basically.
All right.
There's a whole lot more like hip hop sort of sounds in there, like big 808s and crazy hi-hat shit. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, fucking awesome. And have you got a working title for it yet?
The Art of Everything.
Out of everything, very nice. And how about release? Will she be out this year?
We're hoping so. That's not actually finalized yet. We're kind of just working out the kinks and rolling with the punches. But
I
we're
won't ask you too
figuring it
much
out.
more then, just in case you say something doesn't come true. We both end up in the shit.
Yeah.
Now you said that there is yourself and Liam, was it? Like the two new members in the band. So here's
Caleb.
Callum, sorry. So here's your chance to introduce yourself to the fans, bro. Like tell us a bit about yourself and what you're bringing to the sound of Dregg.
So I mean, before Dregg, I've been working on this solo project called RDV, which is like really psychedelic sort of R&B trap sort of shit. So that's what I've been focusing on for years. They knew that I was doing that, and they knew that I was good with all production and electronic stuff. So plus being good at guitar, I suppose, been playing guitar for 17 years now. I figured they just saw that as like perfect addition. Part of that though, there's been a band called Justice for the Damned, which you may know of.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're great dudes. Shout out to them. Yeah, I mean just riffing for early years and then just got into hip hop and like electronic music. So
Very sweet. Now we sort of touched on this a little bit before, man, but I want to go into a bit more detail. Like the sound of Dregg, it mixes everything from metal to hardcore to rap. There's electronics, and when the band first started, it was fresh and new because not many people were doing it. But these days, everyone's trying that sort of shit. So you mentioned the fact that you're pushing the boundaries and going outside a little bit, but what's the process of doing that? Like, do you sit around in a group and chat about which way you could go, or do you just jam out new ideas and new fucking combinations of music? Like, how do you lay that down?
um so initially it was like I wrote a couple things and sent it to them and be like, this is where I could see Dregg going. And everyone responded really well to it. So I was like, okay, sick. It's immediately far beyond what I was expecting. But the vast majority of it has actually just been everyone coming over here, sitting down. We talk about like what we've been listening to for the past week.
Mhm.
Because we're writing every Sunday. So it was like every week. What have you been listening to? We'll sit there for like hour and a half, go through it all, be like, what are we liking and what parts of these different bands or artists we enjoy. Um, Try and hone in on that and actually just incorporate it and see what we can use with that and also make it heavy, you know? But a lot of it, yeah, is fully just trial and error. I just sit here with the guitar, someone like will hum a riff or explain some sort of idea. I try and interpret that and turn it into a riff.
So along those lines, man, like because it's all sort of music that hasn't really been done before. Like in the writing process, like how do you know when you've gone too far or when you've had enough of one thing and not enough of the other? Like, is there a
Yeah.
measuring stick?
Oh, yeah. So, like, we basically have two mottos in the band, which is fuck it and who cares.
Yeah.
Which fully just allows us to push the boundaries, I guess, you know? Like, we'll come up with something that just seems so ridiculous, but you figure it out, incorporate it into the music, listen to it, see if it works. But there's fully been so many points where we've sat there and, you know, working on something for hours, this one idea, and it will like just stop the music and no one says anything. And we all kind of at the same moment go, is this even good? Like, is this music? Yeah, so it definitely goes to the nth degree, and then we have to reel it in and figure it out, you know? Like, yeah, it's fun.
Cool. And have you guys got any shows coming up that you can tell us about?
Oh, yeah, so we're playing Revs on, let me check the actual date. I believe it's the 15th or the 17th of June. I should remember this. It's the 15th, yeah, 15th of June at Revs, which is great because that's one of the first places that I ever hung out with Zov when I moved to Melbourne,
Oh,
which is
nice.
full circle. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's all we've got public at the moment. So
All right, cool. And with the addition of the two new members, I guess, and then the sort of slightly more aggressive sound, like, is that going to alter the live show that Dregg puts on at all, or is it still going to be similar to before?
um I mean, I suppose it would inherently sort of change the vibe, you know, because there is a lot more parts for, you know, like pitting and all that sort of business. But then there's stuff that people can sing along to now as well. Um, Moments as well that are just heaps vibey. I'm a big fan of like, you know, a set should feel like one great big concept or like movement from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love to have things tie songs together and, you know, little interludes or just stuff to keep the vibe there the whole time, you know?
Yeah, very
Always
cool.
something to make shit a little bit more interesting, some weird music in between stuff, you know? So,
Right. The world needs plenty more weird, brother. You're doing a good thing.
yeah.
All right, Zach. Well, thanks for your time, brother. The new single "Dog Cunts" is out now, and she's a fucking cracker. Have you got a release date for your next single so people can keep an ear out for it?
It should be within the next 3 months.
Very cool, brother. All right. Well, in the meantime, mate, I look forward to hearing the new shit. Dregg was a fucking good band before, mate, but judging by Dog Cunts, it's going to be even better now, bro. So,
Yeah, thanks.
up the good work.